And so it's very, very important to understand this, because if you don't, you're misinterpreting the entire Bible going forward. You thinking Adam is the first man when Adam ain't even the first man who's mentioned in the Bible. The first man mentioned in the Bible is not Adam, but Havilah. And Havilah is not the first man. So prove that. That can be very, very easily proved. All right. The whole land of Havilah. If we look up the word Havilah, Havilah refers to both a land and people in several books of the Bible. The one mentioned in Genesis 2:10-11, while the other place thought to be in Africa and mentioned in Genesis 10:7. So we're in 2:10-11, and if we go to Genesis 10, and we look at the table of nations, and we look at Havilah. Let's see, what is it? Genesis 10 verses, well, we already know. The table of nation Havilah is right here, 6. And who is Havilah? See, the sons of Ham were Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. Well, who's Cush? Who's Cush? Cush, we already know the Kushite kingdoms are the Nubians, right? In the Sudan, the southern part of ancient Nubia, first mentioned in Egyptian records of the Middle Kingdom. In the Bible, it is the country of the descendants of Cush. So Kushite kingdom, Nubian kingdom, Ethiopia, you see what I'm saying? It's telling you the Bible is the eldest son of Ham and the grandson of Noah. So right here in the definitions, you can see that these characters aren't real, but personifications of nations representing people who are African. See, the sons of Ham were Cush. They just told you that was Nubia, right? Which is in the Sudan. Then who's Mizraim? Mizraim is the Hebrew and Aramaic name for the land of Egypt. Well, why they just didn't say Egypt? A lot of times sometimes it refers to the two Egypts, Upper and Lower Egypt. So Cush, the kingdoms of Cush. So why didn't it just say Egypt? Because they wanted to confuse the language, to shock you, to confuse you, to keep you from knowing that this is the African people. Punt is the people of Kerma. And Canaan is the most coveted land on the earth. This is what this is all about. This is why Cain was cursed. To get your mind programmed, Cain curse. And then all the families of the Canaanites were dispersed. Well, these are the family members of the Cain. They all family members. All of these people were dispersed. And then they start talking about the tower or the pyramids, because the towers back then were pyramids of Byblos, which is King Khufu's tomb. But they're not going to tell you. And again, like we said, scattered abroad. That's a diaspora, right? Scattered abroad. Scattered abroad. See the Trinities? Scattered them abroad. Scattered them abroad. Scattered abroad. You see the Trinity? The three that makes you say, this is wholly what it's about. This is what this story is about, of people being scattered abroad. A diaspora. The African diaspora. Because we were the builders. The Africans were the builder. And the first diaspora was voluntary. It says Cush, the kingdom of Cush, begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one on the earth. They say a mighty hunter before the Lord. Not God, the Lord. This Lord means master, ruler, leader, superior monarch, sovereign, king, emperor, prince, governor, commander, Caesar. Therefore it said, like Nimrod, the mighty hunter. Who? I'm going to tell you, Orion. So these towers are built in alignment with Orion's belt. Well, Orion was the Greek's version of Sahu, where the King Khufu built his tower in alignment directly to his ancestors, because they believed that the soul ascended to the star, Sirius star. But they changed the names to confuse you. But the game changes when you understand the game and recognize who you are in the game, because they're telling you. They told you. They giving it to you, but they're not going to tell you that in Havilah there is gold, and the gold of that land is good. There go a Trinity again. There is gold, gold, G-O-O-D. The knowledge of gold. And the evil path that it leads to. Now who? The name of the river is Hiddekel, and it is the one which goes towards the east of Assyria. How do they know about Assyria? The kingdom of Kush and the kingdom of Assyria, both second millennium kingdoms. An ancient country in what is now northern Iraq, Mesopotamia. The people who domesticated the sheep, who turned this into this. This is a field creature, beast of the field. They call this wild. But this is what God has made, though. It's nature. Nature is wild to them. No disrespect. No disrespect. No disrespect. It's genius to be able to create a sheep. But it's blood mixing. They're not the only ones who know how to do that. But there's a difference between a sheep and a goat, right? All right, so we're in chapter 2. As you can see, it starts here. Like in that last Bible, it had separated. So this is really still chapter 1. It's still talking about the earth. Thus the earth, heavens and earth was finished. All right. And then now it's finishing up on the 7th day. And then you're going to see seventh day, twice. Oh, okay. And here's the third one. And on the seventh day, the seventh day. So that's why in the other Bible, it was on its own little chapter, because it's really trying to, put in your mind 3 times. That's a trinity of 777, but also that 7th day you can rest. Okay, the Lord ordained for you to rest, because we know that in intellectual God without a body, we know that the creator of the stars and the creator of the sun and the creator of the core of the earth and the mountains, and then the host, the deer, the falcon, we know that that's not a human being. We know that that's not a man with fingers and that's on this planet just, you know what I'm saying? Not to say that he couldn't create a body and then infuse that body with a portion of his spirit, but it wouldn't need to be the entire entity. You see what I'm saying? But the point that I'm trying to make is that the overlords, those who rule society, are establishing, those who's translating this is establishing in your mind the programming. All right, and you have to see it. So now the word created is used, and then the word made, created and made, is telling you that there's a difference between created and made, because they didn't have to say created and made, right? They didn't have to do that, but they did it to let you know that you need to be able to see the difference between created, something brought into existence, all right, and something that has been made. You see what I'm saying? Something made or formed in a particular place or by a particular process. You see what I'm saying? So you see what I'm saying? Something got created versus something has been formed. You see what I'm saying? So it's very, very important to understand this, because if you don't, you're misinterpreting the entire Bible going forward. You thinking Adam is the first man when Adam ain't even the first man who's mentioned in the Bible. The first man mentioned in the Bible is not Adam, but Havilah. And Havilah is not the first man. So prove that. That can be very, very easily proved. All right. The whole land of Havilah. If we look up the word Havilah,